Sorry, mine didn't. Okay, now it's rolling. And live.
Well, welcome. Goodness me, Mists of Avalon. This is how we're going to have the Mists of Avalon in the future. With the water from the chalice well and the beautiful essences all put together by Julia Cotter. Absolutely fabulous well-being essences. They're back in stock now. This one's Mists of Avalon. I've got the lotus, we've got rose quartz, Archangel Michael, and many more. Yeah, that's the new Mists of Avalon there. The most favourite ones that I use all the time. So, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to have a question and answer for you. If anybody has any questions about the angels, the celestial beings, the angels of awakening, anything that you would like to know a spiritual answer to, anything I would be very happy to answer for you, within reason obviously. We will ask the angels. So the last time I did this was with Claire, and that was absolutely phenomenal. So blessings to those who joined in then, and we look forward to speaking with you this evening. So as you know, we are closing here at the Daisy Centre. So these are the last few weeks where I can answer the questions easily within this space with the energy of Merlin and the angels. I don't know how easy it's going to be afterwards, but hopefully there won't be any big change. So, but because we're leaving, we've got lots of things that we want to pass on. They're gifts from the angels. So it's not only the gift of knowledge, the gift of answering your questions, but it's also the gifts that we have accumulated here during the time that we've been open. And goodness me, there are so many. We have the little rose quartz angels, lots of little rose quartz angels that have been part of the process here of connecting the rose quartz line all the way around the world. They are beautiful. How long will the feeling of collective disconnection last? I don't understand that, Jasmine. You have to ask me that one again. Collective disconnection. Interesting question, Jasmine. Is there a spiritual disconnection?
With the pandemic.
So Ria's here. She's in the corner hiding from everybody, but she is here, and she's an absolute well of information. So I think that Jasmine means this, the disconnection, the spiritual disconnection from what's happened in the last 2 years. So my understanding is that we are in the next 7-year cycle. So from 2012 it took us through to 2019. And 2012, of course, was when the Earth, when Gaia woke up. That was the end of the Mayan calendar. And so 2019, those 7 years, gave us the time for humanity and the climate change, all of the energies of what was happening in the world, on the land. We had lots, and we still have lots of tsunamis, lots of earthquakes, lots of fires, lots of droughts. So the world is waking up, and from 2019 until for the next 7 years, that'll be what's 2019 and 7. That should be really easy. That's 2020. Oh, come on, tell me, help me.
7 years from
2019, well, it was 2020, so we were 27, so 2026. I think that we are going to go through massive changes because humanity's waking up, and that's exciting. We really are going through huge shifts at the moment. This little virus has helped people to really consider their well-being. It's helped them to consider their ways of life. It's helped them to change old patterns massively. So any disconnect, any feeling of being lost or feeling out of unity with the world, it's all about getting in unity with nature first. nature, Gaia, get in step with Gaia. Gaia has woken up. Get in step with nature, get in step with your own body, and really by working from the inside, from healing yourself, that's how you get in step with waking up and waking others up, because, oh my goodness me, it's happening all the time. So, brilliant question there, Jasmine. And of course, the nature cycle, we had the full moon yesterday, and we have Mercury retrograde today. How has it been for you? Mercury retrograde, oh my gosh, every single thing I've been trying to do on the computer has gone wrong. Everything I've been trying to do with any kind of electricity just is not working. And then you turn around 10 minutes later and it's worked. And think, how and why did that happen? And of course, this retrograde in Mercury, and there's another one, which other planet? Is it Jupiter is in retrograde as well? Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. That also is causing things to go slowly. Because when a planet's in retrograde, what the angels say to me is it's a time for taking a pause. It's a time for working out if it won't go with the flow of least resistance, then there's another reason and another way of doing it. And that's what I'm finding here. You know, I'm trying to plan ahead, and you can't plan ahead. There's no way that I know where I'm going. Paul and I, with both of us on the same page, we just don't know where we're going. So we can't plan ahead. We're just taking one step at a time. And that's why we're doing these gifts from the angels. We are sorting out things that we no longer require. You know, I had 3 Marys. Now, you really don't need 3 Marys, do you? So this beautiful Mary is for sale. Mary with baby Jesus. And we have Jesus on his own as well. They are beautiful statues. They've been on our altar, and this one is an alabaster, really beautiful alabaster Jesus, holding out his hand and holding his hand to point to the heart. Absolutely beautiful. And for those who are in adoration of Mary, we have this one here with the rosary as well. Really beautiful. So the rosary on Mary. So the rosary beads are ways to count your prayers. It can be a rosary in the Catholic faith with the cross, or it can be a mandala in your own. I've made my own mala, which I made from crystal daisies. I know I found them in a little bracelet, so I bought 4 or 5, and I made my own crystal mala for me to count how many prayers that I was doing. It was counting the names of Amma, 108 names. So absolutely beautiful way to keep counting. So the dogs, what's happening with the dogs? These are the 2 most beautiful China dogs. They are actually porcelain whippets. They are so beautiful, and they need a new home. There's 2 of them. Very good value, because I've been looking them up today, and they go for quite a few bob. So we're going to accept offers on these. So everything that we're talking about tonight is on the website. I'm just going to put them either side of me now, so that we can see. You can see what we're going to show you next. What we're going to talk about next. So they're quite big, these dogs. They are a pair, and they were either side of the fireplace for a long time, taking care and being guardians, because that's what dogs do. And greyhounds, of course, are known for their hunter and their chasing. Absolutely beautiful. So here we go, back into the light, where we have the angels. We have the angel bookends. Again, I don't really want to take them with me wherever we're going. So they are a pair of angel bookends. I was so pleased when I found these. I remember finding them in a shop called Annie's. We'd just been to Hebden Bridge and had the most awful experience. Hebden Bridge is a place in Yorkshire in England, lovely place, really lovely, but very spiritual. It was in the 60s, it was the place to go to, and even now I think there's quite a lot of communities there that are again working with the land, and so but we found a very bad B&B. So being B&B owners, we knew that we didn't need to stay, and we left, and we went to Harrogate, and that's where I found these angels. And to me that was quite poignant, because they were bookends, and they were showing us that, you know, it was support and unity. And the two bookends, finding the angels was wonderful, because sometimes when you have a bad experience you think, oh my gosh, I've just been abandoned by the angels, what's going on, why wasn't I given more notice? So that is how we got these little bookends. Absolutely beautiful. So if I can see that Ria is scribbling away over there in the corner, so I think there's lots more questions. So let's have a look and see what she has to ask. But whilst we're waiting, have you got your copy? Soul and Spirit magazine. I can't believe this magazine. It never fails to amaze me. It is so full of the most wonderful articles, so full of the most wonderful things. Love your way to abundance. How amazing is that? You've got Sally Morgan, you've got can't read that one, we've got the most wonderful articles here. Nikki, my friend Nikki Wyatt, how wonderful is that? The Karma Yogi. And there's a lovely article in here from me as well, just letting you know how sometimes it's the end of a relationship that's just as important as the beginning, and that's so true for everything, isn't it? That's why I'm trying to make the end of the Daisy Centres fun. That's why we're doing gifts from the angels, the gift of my knowledge, the gift of the things that we're giving away. And I know that Soul and Spirit are always giving away things, and this month it's the astrology cards, and they're so different this time. They're actually round. Look at that. They are round cards, and it's no good me reading them out because I really don't have my glasses on, and I'm far too vain to put them on in this moment. So, so there are your gifts from the Soul and Spirit. This magazine, this month, the magazine that I love, and it is yours too if you would like to subscribe. Or you can find them in most shops. I think even Sainsbury's have them now. So we've got a question here, another question from Jasmine. A top tip on looking after your energy. Whoa, Jasmine, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And yeah, it is, especially with what's going on, how do you take care of you? It is number one. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post a couple of days ago where it was a fantasy. What if the government did this? And it was a brilliant post because it said, you know, we're in a pandemic. Well, how about let's look at everything completely differently. Let's ban alcohol. Let's ban the horror movies and the streaming. Let's ban phones from people's pockets and from dinner tables and restaurants, and let's look and make sure that everybody gets free vegetables, free fruit. You know, it was utopia. It was all about being looked after in a positive way, and of course that's the dream. That's what we would love to be able to attain. Is that you know, our worries were just released and let go of. It would be a 50% reduction in all energy bills. The phone masks wouldn't be being put up everywhere, and life would be walking in the woods, or life would be able to have the afternoon off to talk to family and you know, do the things that make you happy, because that's what is important. It's so important. How do you keep your energy high? How do you do it? Ria. It's taking care of yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's knowing that you are the only one. You know, my grandma used to say to me, there's always a helping hand in this world. It's at the end of your own arm. Because it is. It's what do you do? What is it that you are doing? Are you taking your vitamins? Are you having a walk daily? Are you exercising whenever you can, doing those pelvic floor, doing those stomach crunches whilst you're watching telly? Or I've got my my wonderful healer friend has given me an exercise to do every day to help me with my anxiety. We still haven't signed, and it's like, oh. And that exercise, you're never going to guess this, is lying on my back on the floor with my legs on a chair on the sofa, and it's making such a difference. I don't think it's a yoga pose. I think it is lying on the floor with your legs in the air. And 20 minutes, I know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max if you can. And both Ella and I, Ella's my housekeeper at the moment, bless her, she's needing a little bit of TLC. She and I were having a chat, and I said, you know, we can have this chat right now, we can do this healing session, but you've got to lie on the floor, put your legs in the air like I have. And so it is about having fun, it's about keeping your energy high, laughter, lots and lots of laughter, calling in your angels, having a jolly good read, and taking time for you, smelling the roses, picking your daisies, really taking the time for you to enjoy life, because life is what you make it. I hope that answered your question, Jasmine. Brilliant. Wow, so we've got another question here from Sue. So tell us about your first angelic experience at the Daisy Centres. Oh gosh, let me have a think. There were so many. I mean, there were just so many. Every time I talked about Glastonbury, I would have a visit from an angel in the form of a warmth. I would find feathers everywhere. I mean, to start with, at the beginning, every shop I went into, this is one of the angels that I bought at the very beginning, and I love her because she sits, again, like the bookshelf, she sits on a shelf. I've got her here on some books, and she's holding her hands out, because when you have your hands open, when you are open-hearted, open-hand, then you can receive. If you've got your hands full all the time, you know, all the time, then how can the angels help you? How can you receive anything if your hands are full? So the first experiences was actually recognizing that angels are everywhere. That absolutely everywhere. This little one here as well, this was given to me by one of my members of my family, and this is fabulous because it brings in the light. You put the candle in the back here, and then when you have that candle lit, it just lights it up. So it's about recognizing that all of your experience, whether they are with angels, look at that one, isn't that lovely? So that the light is all around you, and that the angels are there all the time. The first night we came here in 2005 was when we bought it, on the 12th of December. The whole house obviously had nothing in it, no furniture, nothing. Bed, that was it, just one bed. There were people sleeping outside in the car park, literally in a sleeping bag, and it was just like, oh my goodness me, how can this happen? How can we be in, at that time it was a 4-bedroom house, how can we be in a 4-bedroom house when empty, when there's somebody outside with nothing, no thing? And Paul and I talked about it. Of course, we were completely new to Glastonbury. We had no idea of the intricacies and the generosity and the ethos and the magic and all the things that now, after 14 years, we understand. And we talked about it. We'd come from London. You know, in London, you don't open your doors to anybody after 5 o'clock. That's it, end of. Whereas here, we were imbued by all these angels, visitations all the time, that it was like, oh, well, let's go and invite him in. We spent so long talking about it. By the time, it was like about half an hour. By the time we went outside to invite him in, he'd gone. And I always believed that maybe that was an angel visitation, because that person had gone somewhere, either for a warmer bed or for something else, but he certainly made us think on our very first night to think of what it was going to be like living here, because we knew it was going to be different, but we didn't know how. So know that angels are absolutely, they're messengers for God, and they are there all the time. There's another lighted candle which we have had right from the beginning, and it's too hot now for me to lift up. It's the hands with the heart. You can see it in on the website, and we put oils in that to burn the oils. You can put those melted candle melts as well in that one. It is all about inviting your angels in, being as generous of the heart as you can be, recognising that by helping others you are also helping yourself, whether it's just to feel better in the moment or whether it is to really change that person's life. And I think over the 14 years we really have been helping a lot of people, because they tell us. So in those 14 years, it's not just with healing, it's with all the other things that we've been doing here over that time. And one of those things was meeting my friend Susie Anthony. She had another healing centre in Wells. She doesn't have it anymore, but when she finished or closed it, she wrote a book, A Map to God. And I've got 2 copies here. So again, if you want to know The Map to God, Awakening Your Spiritual Integrity, beautiful, lovely lady. And these are brand new books, and they are available. I think we've got them at £15 for you tonight if you'd like them, or an offer. You know, ask me, and I will always do a deal. I will always make an offer on something. Let's put that one over there. So before we go to the next question, let's talk about the other things that we're giving away, or we're not giving away, we're selling these, but we have got so many books to give away. I'm going to do an open day. I think the first one is this Saturday, the 22nd, and that's just to have a look around and see, because we haven't absolutely signed to exchange yet. We've got to keep the beds and things in place. But once we've done that, we will be selling absolutely everything. But in the meantime, I found 5 of these books from OT Bonnet. Now, this book, what I learned after medical school, is absolutely amazing. He has such a way of writing. It's absolutely brilliant. And these are, again, our brand new books from Ozark, and I've just got 5 copies of them. They are quite sought after, and they're actually, I don't think they're in print anymore. They are £30. £29.99 I think on my website, and they're £30 or £32 everywhere else, and I've got them here, but again I'll take offers on those. And this one is his other book, Why Healing Happens. Now I had this one on my bookshelf here, and one of my guests borrowed it, took it home, couldn't stop reading it, so she sent me a new one, and this is the new one. She said it's just the most amazing book, so she didn't know I had 2 others. So, and this one again is a fabulous book, Why Healing Happens. So these authors are really quite good, and they're all here. Things We're Having, The Forgotten Woman. This one's lovely. This one is Aaron and Sunanda Gandhi, and this one is again £30 for this one. It sounds like a lot of money. It's because most of these books are out of print, or they're very rare books. We've got lots of other books which I'm £3, £2, a pound, and some of them I'm just literally giving away. But these are the ones that we have discovered are sought after. There's this particular one, The Universal Soul by Chris Thomas. This is a £50 book. Because it's and it's brand new, it's not been used, and this is a wonderful book. And there's another one here on the tarot. This one's only £18. Rebirth of the Oracle as a Tarot. So these are some of the offerings we have now here tonight. And there's another one here which is one of my favourites. I've got two of these, and this is Lifting the Veil on the Last Continent of Mu. And when I say this, the continent of Mu, people say, what? Where's Mu? And of course, this book is fabulous. It's got lots of wonderful information, and really explains to you where the continent of Mu and the treasures that come from that space. Because Mu, the continent of Mu, was the civilization before Lemuria, which was before Atlantis, which was before the Egyptians, the Aztecs, the Indians, all of the different cultures that have shaped our world. And we're going to have a question again from Ria here now. So all of this information about Atlantis, about Mu, about Atlantis, that is the information that comes in my workshops and in my courses. So if you are interested, who's that from? Melissa, bless you, thank you Melissa. So if you are interested in this information, you don't just have to read the books. I've read the books for you. I know, it's amazing. People say to me, have you read all of them? It's like, well, yes. And you should know that I've got, and Ria's laughing, I've got 3 bookshelves. I've got one for everybody here in the centre, and then I've got one that's just as reference for me, and then I've got my personal ones in my house in London, so my dad's house in London. So I love books, always have done, always looked at books just before you go to bed, and once you get into a really good book, you just lap it up. So what do you do with all this knowledge? You share it. That's what I love doing. And so when we leave here, which is, I know, I hate saying this, it's probably going to be within the next 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months. I very much doubt if we'll still be here in 3 months' time. So what's going to happen? I've got courses that are starting next on the 31st of January. That is a course on the Flower of Life, the Daisy Matrix. That's all about the Temple School information. Lots of people think that Glastonbury is a temple school, and having been here for so long, it certainly is a school of wisdom. And so they're evening classes. They're 2 hours for 4 to 6 weeks, depending on which course you do. The Merlin and the Angels is 4 weeks, and the Daisy Matrix Flower of Life is 6 weeks. There's so much information, we just couldn't get it all into the 4 weeks. So if you'd like to join in, they're all on. Well, they're everywhere now. I've put them onto Instagram, onto Facebook. They're on my website. You can now book in and pay for them. I've set up a payment and appointments. I know my friends are going, oh my goodness, you're getting organised just as you're leaving, Daisy. So when you have when you have been on these courses, they are self-development, and the courses are 2 hours, 4 or 6 hours every week, depending on which day it is. There, I also have day workshops as well. Those will continue, and will continue online with the workshops and the classes. And so any question, anything you wish to learn, and I've completed 3 or 4 of these courses now in the last 6 months, and they've been such fun. And they you can't wait till the next one. Sphere 1 was brilliant, and we're going on to Sphere 2 now. And so one of the questions, now Melissa's just asked another question. She saw angels around her firstborn. Oh, how beautiful! That is so beautiful. Melissa, it is such an honour. It's so beautiful. And when you have that amount of love, that's how the visual clairaudience, clairsentience and clairvoyance. Voyance is the visual. How you can see these angels. I see them as colours, and I see them as energy, flashes of light. And very occasionally I can see the whole thing. I had a wonderful lady come to stay here, Maria, and she would literally see your angel standing behind you. And she was here when my first grandchild, Lara's Ronnie, was here. He was a baby. And she said, oh my goodness, he's wrapped in little blue wings. It was so beautiful. And even now, 12 years later, every time I see him and look at him, I'm like, oh, there he was, all wrapped in blue wings. And so I don't see the colours of the wings like Maria does, but I do see the colour around the being if I tune in, if we ask for it. And it's about tuning in. It's not about being tuned in all the time that you seeing angels here, there and everywhere, but you tune in and then you can see them. So it's a wonderful honour to be able to see it, especially in healing sessions. People say to me, oh, I miss my dad, I miss my mum, and they are literally standing beside them. You can see the energy, you can feel the presence, and you just talk to them and they will talk back, they will speak to you. So it's not just angels, it's also loved ones. But when you're in that loving space of seeing your firstborn child or your firstborn grandchild, or even I've got 6 grandchildren now, as most people know, and even the last grandchild, when I saw her just recently, she was so beautiful, so lovely, and you could see the aura around her was just peace, absolute zen and peacefulness. This little angel here we have with the dove of peace. And I've painted these. These are the gold and white. So all my angels, I've painted them gold and white for the angels of awakening, the angels of Atlantis, the angels of Avalon, the angels of alchemy, the angels of awareness. And this little one with the peace dove, absolutely beautiful, you can see here. And this always reminds me of the children, the little ones, just kneeling with holding the peace in their hands, in their hearts, with that beautiful smile. I have to say, this one looks a bit like Frank, my youngest grandson. He's 2.5 now, and when he was born, when he came through, he said to me, oh, I said, oh, well, what's your name? And he said, oh, it's Apollo's soul. He was born on the solstice in 2019. And I said to Lara, his name's Apollo's soul. She went, no, his name's Frank. So Frank he is, except when you ask him his name, he goes, oh, it's Ank. Ank's toys, Ank's food, Ank's this, Ank's that. So absolutely beautiful. So yes, know those babies are around you. Know those angels are always with you. You just have to call them. And now we've got almost our last question now. MJ asks, how do you start working with the angels? Oh, bless you. Come on one of my courses. Come on one of my courses. Come on one of my workshops. I've got one left before we close. I know it's sometime in February. I've completely forgotten when it is now. So it's on the website, daisyfoss.com. And that's how you learn and how you start. Because it isn't about doing something completely new. It's about remembering. How do you remember? How do you start? You start by one foot in front of the other. And the beautiful thing about angels, working with angels, is you can't do it wrong, because the first thing you're going to ask them for is guidance. And when you ask them for guidance, then you get the answers. And when you get the answers for that guidance, you get the next one. And that's why lots of people, including myself, don't always know what's going to happen a long time in the future, because it's one step at a time. You are only ever going to learn that which you're ready for. You're only ever going to know the information that the angels think you can handle. And sometimes they give you more information and more things to deal with that you don't think you can handle, but of course you do. And often those are the times when you really, really learn and have the experience of that, whatever that trauma was, whatever that experience was. You learn how strong you are, how much more of a inner strength that you had than you ever expected. So one step in front of the other, baby steps, MJ, and just call them in. Call them in. Oh, Ria wants to know about the matriarchy in Egypt. Oh, that's a brilliant question. Well done. So, these gifts from the angels, that's what we're doing here tonight, and we're going to be doing these, continuing to do them on a Wednesday at 7ish. We did try to get ready for 7, but everything is Mercury retrograde, so we were a bit late today. So when Ria and I started to talk and work together, she said, oh, I've been asked to do interviews for the Goddess conference in July. Would you like to do one, Daisy? And I went, oh, yes, please. And halfway through the interview, I was talking about the importance of not just the goddess, but the God energy, the male and the female being balanced. And I mentioned the Egyptian culture, the whole of the time of the Egyptian culture. The society was a matriarchal society, and your little eyes popped out of your head. It's like, ooh! What does that mean? It's very similar to the culture and the time that we're in at the moment. It's very, very obvious. It's a patriarchal society. You know, it is governed and run by the male energies. And coming right back to the beginning of this talk, this evening, where it's the balance, you know, what we're in this next 7-year cycle, and my belief is that we are actually coming from the male and the female, the spirit and the form coming together as one, and that's how we are linking. We have to have a balance of male energy and a balance of female energy. I have these wonderful pictures. They're also up for sale because we can't take them with us. The male energies depicted by this person's life, treasures in the box, and this one of the divine feminine. And it's that balance of the male and female that's really going to take us forward, and that's what's going to be so different. So to answer Ria's question, what was the influence of the female matriarchy? It was the adoration, the way that the pharaohs all had their queen. They the goddess who was revered most was Isis, and the goddess of love, Isis, the winged goddess. She was the the number one goddess. And of course her son Horus was the divine masculine. Osiris was her husband, but again very similar to the sacrifice of Jesus. Osiris was killed by his brother, so there was sacrificing him for his child. And so we have the matriarchy of the Egyptian culture, and you know it's when it's matriarchy, it's much more about that the nurturing. It's so much more about the receiving of love. It's the left foot forward rather than the right foot forward. It's the embracing rather than the giving. It's the receiving of things. So and when you go to Egypt, as I have many times and hope to continue, people keep asking, when are we going again? Well, I feel a trip coming on, don't you? When we're not distracted by everything that's going on here, we will be going back to Egypt. So if you'd like to come, just email me, put your name down, and we will go and visit the sacred sites, because they are so vibrant at this time at the moment. After the dogs are barking, that's the whippets next door. How lovely is that? And the angels always make a sound to confirm, and we've got the beautiful dogs that live next door making the sound now in this moment to confirm that the energies coming out of the temples is very pure, very different, very cosmic, because with this ascension process, we are really embracing this part of ourselves that is cosmic. And so the going into that fifth dimensional space, into that raising of your vibration. You don't have to be in Egypt to be in Egypt. You don't have to go to the sacred sites. It's like living here in Avalon. If you visit, you receive that energy just as much. But being there is absolutely fabulous. We've been here for so long, we've not heard the dogs bark at all. So they obviously just say to me, buy me. We started with these two dogs. I daren't give them names, because if I give them names, then they're not going to go to new homes, are they? We've got a little painted angel as well. She's beautiful. She was from my shop in London. I've had her for many years, and absolutely beautiful painted angel to hang on the wall. Really hand painted, handmade. So once again, back to the angels. So I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Oh, did that answer your question, Ria? Matriarchy rules, but it's not going too far that way or too far that way. It's the balance that's so important now. The imbalance and the polarity of the male and the female, the Vesica Pisces, the Trinity, the seed of life, the flower of life, the fruit of life, the tree of life, and of course the mystery of the flower of life. And that's what the Daisy Centre was named after. Everyone thinks it was my name, but actually it was the other way round. It's the centre of the flower of life, and I was named Daisy by Paul when I first met him, and I had no idea of the meaning of it or what it meant. So these things unfold, they absolutely do. So have you enjoyed it? Have you enjoyed it? Yes. So we'll do this again next week or the week after. There's so much more that we have to find new homes for. Lots of things. The dragons have gone now. Big Jesus and Mary's, lots of pictures have gone, lots of the books, but we still have quite a lot. So if you would have a look on the website, if there's anything there, please let me know. I'm open to offers on almost everything. Okay, have a wonderful week. Lots and lots of love. And see you again soon. Big, angelic, etheric hug to you.